Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of DadVGirls After Hours.
Woo!
Here we are, up in
Yay.
the building. We got Sarah Jane. Sarah Jane, what a unique name that is, right? And in a previous episode, you guys would have seen that on the day that Sarah was born, the number one song was by someone called Sarah Jane, and that was an absolute coincidence.
I don't know why, but whenever I think of my name, I think of it like Sarah Jane, I do declare.
It's very country western.
Oh, Sarah Jane.
You know what? That's one of the things that I really loved about you when I first met you. I thought, I really liked your name. I was like, it's so different, but it's not like,
Oh, Sarah
not
Jane.
like chavvy. It feels like country western. Yeah. But basically, today's episode, we have a bit of a theme, which is coincidences. We realized that we also have coincidences in our relationship. We've also found some crazy coincidences online. So let's get into it.
Yes.
Where do you want to start? Our coincidences.
Yeah, 100%. So
Good,
like,
because I can't remember them, so you go.
I fully believe that if someone is meant to be in your life, no matter what, they will be in your life. Because you ever get that
What did you do to deserve me?
Yeah. Because I even think like when you fall out with somebody and then if they're not meant to be in your life, you never see them again. It's really quite, you know, like even if you live
You always say this. You're like, there's people that you don't talk to anymore. Like, don't think it's weird. I never see them.
It's so bizarre.
But we did. We did see
You
one
did.
of them.
I didn't.
Did you not? I did, yeah. We were together, but you didn't see it. It's
Yeah.
like they're invisible to you. You do see them. You
It's
just
lovely. No, it's lovely. Like I'm not a confrontational person. Like
yeah.
with you I am.
Beg to differ.
With you I am. But like if
Pause.
if I feel like someone has done me wrong and like I'm quite good at just being like, I don't need to talk about it, I don't need to have an argument, it's over, like that's it. They then do seem to be out of my life. It's really weird. Anyway, because that's not a coincidence.
Oh, that could be a whole nother topic.
No, we let that lie. I don't need to bring anything up. I don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
People, no. Anyway, so the coincidence is obviously we met at 15 and we then found that we had quite a few coincidences that had been running along. Like, so basically the first one was where I used to live. I lived opposite a park, but like it was a really cool park. It had like,
it was a skate park,
play park, ramps for your bikes. So we found that even though you lived like 20 minutes from there, like you had parks near you, but that's the park you would go to. That's the park I would go to.
I would be, because I used to skate, I was at that park every single day, every half term, every weekend after school. That was your local park.
Yeah.
You were there every day. We would have 100% been there multiple times together at the same time. I was only interested in skating at that time.
Yeah.
I wasn't really interested in girls.
No. I went into skate dudes anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Imagine if we had met, you would have been horrified. I remember my baggy jeans.
Yeah. And it's really funny.
Chain on my wallet.
That does actually remind me of like some of the boys that I used to fancy then.
Oh, no.
Like, now I look at them and I'm like, whoa, like
near miss.
Like, yeah, it is.
Oh, what your life could have been, Sarah Jane.
Yeah, no. So that was one. And then I remember we went on holiday we'd only been together a few months and we went on holiday together. Like, I went with your family, your aunties and everyone went.
Where did we go? Malta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With your nan, like all your family, your sisters, everyone. And I remember sitting talking to your auntie who was a nurse and we started talking about the family and she's obviously asking questions about my family. And then it turned out that my cousin, who was younger than me and he had really severe epilepsy, he was in and out of hospital a lot. He had a named nurse at the hospital, which turned out to be your auntie.
Mad.
She was like, not Daniel. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh my God, he was like mine. He like, whenever you come in, I would take care of him. I know your auntie really well. Like, this is crazy. And then another coincidence was that I have two cousins that were...
And these are two separate things, right? These things, like, these cousin things are very, very separate. So Sarah has two cousins, their brother and sister. So my mum and dad used to foster when I was younger. So we had, like, to be honest, over the course of from when I was at the age of 7 to like 18, I think over 100 kids, not all at one time, came and lived at our house. Well,
first it was my cousin. had been fostered, and she had been fostered by your mum's best friend.
Yeah.
So she would have hung around at your house.
She used to
met your
come to our
family
house all the time.
all the time. And
Because
then
my mum's best friend used to foster her. Like, how mad is
Yeah.
that?
And then her brother, we randomly one Christmas, we lived at your mum and dad's house. We've got kids by now. We lived there. Your mum and dad kindly let us live there when we were saving for a mortgage. So we lived there and we invited him over for a Christmas. And he spent Christmas. And as he walked in the hallway, he was like, I've been here before. And we were like, what? And he was like, I've been here. In my childhood, I've been here. And he was like looking at the hallway, looking around. He was like, and he mentioned one of your foster brothers' names. He was like, so-and-so. And you were like, yeah. And he was like, that was my friend. I used to hang out here with.
So he used to come to the house.
Bizarre.
And he even said, like, because you had BMXs over there, and he described it how
Yeah.
it used to be. And I was like, wait, this is so mad. Like, both of your cousins separately, nothing to do with each other, used to come to my house. How mad is that?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
we didn't even find out for years
That's
later.
what I'm like. I think if you're meant to be in each other's lives, it's just
meant to be.
It is.
Isn't it? We're soulmates. Sometimes we're not even mates. We don't even like each other.
Oh.
Jake.
Oh, is that
Like
how it's
each other.
turning? Because I can turn if you want me to.
Oh,
I've
she's not
told you how I can-
confrontational.
How I can just cut people out.
Should cut me off, guys.
Yeah, I get that from my mum. My mum's quite a tough cookie like that.
Oh, your mum's tough, yeah. Your dad's a big softie.
He is, bless him.
So yeah, but I actually saw this story online, and this is the maddest coincidence. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. So there was this lady, yeah, she lost her wedding ring, right, in the kitchen. 16 years later, she grows like carrots or whatever. She sees the carrots growing in her garden. Wrapped around the carrot, like the carrot's grown around it, is her wedding ring. 16 years later.
That's mad.
It got from the kitchen to the garden. And basically the way that they figured out that it might have happened is because...
You're making me think of to the window.
To the wall.
The wall.
To the sweat drip down my balls.
Oh, you bitches. Excuse
Excuse-
me.
Yeah. So, yeah, a little music.
That's what you remind me of, like,
Yeah.
to the garden.
From the
To
garden
the kitchen to the garden.
The kitchen to the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically they figured out like they would...
Well, when I first read this, I was like,
She's
no,
not- she don't wanna
no
listen to
way. 16 years, that carrot would be much bigger. And then I'm like, oh, no, wait. Obviously, it's gone. It's taken 16 years to get, like,
Even
that carrot
the
hasn't grown for 16
Even just to remove everything other than the fact if I dropped a ring in a carrot patch, what are the chances that a carrot will grow through that ring? Even that on its own,
that's
the coincidence is mad. Let alone the fact it got from there to there and she even found it. Just blows my mind. But on TikTok and stuff, I actually see people making these TikToks all the time where they're like, they show a picture from their childhood and their husband or wife are in the picture, but they didn't know each other. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many of these things. Or like, I saw this one person being like, I think it was like her husband's mum or dad who had passed away. She never got to meet them. But then he was in her house, saw an old picture from her childhood and was like, that's my mum or my dad in that picture with you. Because they were like a teacher at the school or something. And they're like, just mental. And there was another one where there was like an old picture and the husband was in the back of the picture and they didn't meet till like years later. Like crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy stuff in it. Talking of finding old things, when we moved house and obviously you go through all your stuff and you're trying to figure out what to keep, what to throw away, I found one of my old journals. And in that journal, it was so interesting to read it because there was quite a few entries over the span of a couple of years, like before starting YouTube, but also starting YouTube. And it was such a trip down memory lane because I don't really journal anymore and I want to get back to it, but I used to manifest in that journal. So I would write things like, this is my life. Like before starting YouTube, it's like, we have a successful YouTube channel.
You're demanding it rather than...
We're making a living by making fun videos online. We're living our dream life. Like we're making, and I'll even be specific, like we make X amount every single month from doing this. And like, it all come true, right? And it's like, I don't know what exactly it is behind it, but there is a power in manifesting.
100%.
And I think even if you just maybe try and look at it from like a scientific point of view, if you're not really into, like, I'm not massively into like universe and this and that, but even if you look at it from a scientific point of view, it's like when you tell yourself something, your subconscious, which is like not your like actual thoughts, it's like what's happening in the background. If it knows what you want in life, it will look for opportunities to keep you in that direction.
And again, that whole thing of being able to, you'll be able to say yes or no to things if it's not to get you to that goal of what you want, like in life.
So I think like it's kind of like setting a compass that even when you're not thinking about it, something inside of you is thinking about it. So reading that journal was just mad because it just blew my mind. Like some of the stuff in there was very specific. It was like about, about the houses. There was stuff in there about, Sophie and Annex. And there was also, I'm just trying to think what the other stuff, like even just reading like how like a year later, it'd be like, I'd be writing in the journal, like, I can't believe this is my life. Like, this is what I get to do for a living. This is what is happening. Like, it was such a
nice,
strange feeling reading that journal.
Well, I remember when we were young, like when we first met, and there was two things we used to do. One, I don't really know why. We used to go through like the Argos catalogue and look at baby clothes. It was like we knew at 15, 16 that we were going to have a baby young, because we used to like, if we got a baby, what would we put it in? What buggy would we buy? What would
we call it? It's like we didn't really realize it. We were kind of like manifesting our life,
and like having kids
like
together
vision in it and stuff. Yeah,
weirdly. And then the other thing is we used to walk around really nice houses, like past really fancy roads with really nice houses.
Very specific road.
There was a certain look of the road we would like, but
also there was a name of a certain road as well, and there was a very specific road, and we used to walk down there because it was like it wasn't that far from where you live, but it was like just this road of just like the most incredible houses, and we used to walk down there and be like, yeah, one day we're gonna have a house like this. And even like, I don't know if you even notice, but I even would drive down that road. The last time I drove down that road, probably 3 years ago, I would still occasionally drive down that road. I'm surprised no one called the police. I would pull up outside like certain houses, and I would look at the house and be like, I'm going to get a house like this. Like,
we used to go for walks in our old house when you and me go for a walk, and they'd all have these gates and fences up, but you're so nosy, you'd be trying to look. I'm like, they're going to think you're trying to break in. Yeah, but I just want to have a little look like what
I'm just trying to picture myself in that house.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were going to picture yourself in jail,
I'll knock on the door. Can I just try this out for size? Okay. It's just for my manifesting. No, but now we own a house like that. And even there's like a coincidence, I can't say what it is. There's a coincidence. It's not on that road. It's not that area. But there's a coincidence about something that ties those two places together in like just a meaningful way. And it's just mad, right? And I genuinely do not take it for granted. I wake up every morning and I just feel like, pinch me. Like,
okay.
You know what I mean? No, don't actually.
Tomorrow morning I'm going to pinch you.
I do. Like, I feel like,
agree.
And I think I want to get back to that kind of, I want to get back to journaling. I want to get back to manifesting, because the thing is, you don't even need to do it like loads. It's not actually like a thing that you need to do every day. I know some people do affirmations every day, but it's actually something that you can write it in your journal and just kind of leave it, because you've told your subconscious, that's what I want. And your subconscious is like, cool.
Yeah. Well, that brings me on to the manifesting that I have for the future, which one day, my manifesting, I would love a place in Ibiza, a holiday home that I just absolutely love it there. That's where we've gone back a few times now. Like when we've got our weekend away, we're going there.
What about if my manifestation is a house in Florida? Like, wow.
No, that's too far.
What's going to happen?
It just doesn't make sense.
No, I'm
to be
joking.
in Florida, because you can't just nip there for the weekend.
I do love Ibiza. I do love it.
Because it was Casey was saying, because your mum used to have a villa in Spain and they've sold that now. And she was like, oh, it's a shame, because obviously she could have gone there with her friends. She was like, why can't you have a holiday house? I was like, it's on my manifesting list. So that's on mine. What about yours? Anything else?
Do you know what? And it's going to sound really cringe, but it's like I feel like I'm living out my manifestations now. So it's like, yeah, there is stuff, but I don't know. I just feel very, very happy, very content.
Oh, don't you make me look crap.
It's never enough for her. I'll tell you that much. Spotted a dream home. No, she wants one in Ibiza.
Yeah.
No, it's.
Listen, I won't be having no fancy. They're so expensive in Ibiza.
I'll tell you something. Sarah is one of the most content people I've ever met. I've always struggled with contentness. Is that a word? Yeah. I've always struggled with that. And Sarah has always been so content and so happy. Like, yeah, we've got this house and we've got this life. But I'll tell you what, if we lived in a 2-bed flat with all these kids, it would be a squeeze. But I tell you what, Sarah would be as happy, 100%. You are very content.
I do feel that.
And because I've always felt like, I've always had this thing in my head. It's like, as much as I want this life and these like this kind of, it's like I also equally craved contentness, because being content is,
there's nothing, yeah.
But it's
kind of like that whole thing, you know, like when people say that when you die, you don't think of the things.
Yeah.
It's like it's family, it's the memories, that's what life is about. And yes, like we're very fortunate, and I'm so grateful for the things and the house we have, and of course I enjoy them, but I would rather, like when we bought the house, we both agreed, for us, most importantly was like the memories the kids are going to make, their childhood in this house. I was
going to say, if you actually strip back the it can seem on the outside materialistic, but actually it isn't at all, because if you actually look like it's not cars, it's not anything like material if it doesn't give us memories and experience.
Yeah.
So like for us, and the things that I always manifested was the experiences, like the holidays, right? That time with the kids doing that stuff. Yeah. It means the world to me. The house is a lifestyle with the kids. So like
well, when we see,
if anyone knows me, like, I don't drive like crazy cars, or I don't have like really expensive watches and stuff like that. Nothing to get, like, that's what you're into, cool. Yeah, of course, but I'm just saying, like, for me, it's always about the life that it gives us, not about the thing and how much it costs. Yeah. So I think as well, that's why with the manifestations, like if you have like a deeper reason why, and it really connects with your soul. Like I remember when I first did a vision board, I put all this stuff on it, which literally, like, I saw that DadVGirls posted a quote the other day: if it doesn't light your soul on fire, it's not worth the burn. When I put all this stuff on the vision board, it really lit my soul on fire. I put on there a Range Rover just because I thought, well, I probably should. It's almost like that's what you should put on, and it didn't light me up at all. And I can afford that Range Rover, and I have no desire to really buy it. So it's like, when you put stuff on your vision board, if it is just materialistic and it has no depth and it doesn't connect with your soul, you're wasting your time. But if it really does connect, then it's going to happen. So yeah.
Well, I have been manifesting that I go on a safari, and then I got offered from a brand to go on a safari. It was just me and Casey. I've declined it. We can't go. But the funniest thing is, Joe was like, how about you get a bit clearer with your manifesting and you take me and the kids with you? What's been going on? You've only manifested.
She's like, I manifested this. And I was like, did you not manifest us? Like me and the kids as well?
Like, no, I wasn't specific. I was
like, you need to be very specific with your manifestation, guys. Okay. What? There's a quote. I always butcher quotes, and it's so annoying. Okay, but no, it's such a good quote as well. It's the vague.
I don't know. But anyway, but this is the thing that I really want to do. Remember. I'm really manifesting to go on.
You keep talking, I'm looking it up.
Safari, but I know I'm going to be petrified. I'm going to be so scared. I'm not going to enjoy it the way I want to enjoy it. So maybe like it was like manifesting. It's like, go with Casey first. Enjoy it first. Know that the lions aren't going to eat you. Like, and then take the kids.
Will they? Or will they?
I'll be like the old lady in Madagascar hitting it with the bag, you know, like.
Life punishes the vague wish and rewards the specific ask. Okay. When you are so vague with what it is you want, oh, like I just want a better life, or I just want this, and it's so vague. No, get specific. If you're gonna manifest, get very granular.
Yeah.
That's my
I
advice.
can't remember her surname, but the lady Roxy, I always say about her manifesting. I went to one of her
She's like an author and like
seminars,
a
like,
speaker, isn't she? Yeah.
yeah, brilliant. I came out of that and I gained so much. She was really good. She was just brilliant on stage. Her whole aura, like her life, what she's been through. It's not just like she'd been through a load of shit to get where she is. Like it's a really good listen.
Inspirational. I probably have said this on another podcast as well, but as we're on the topic of like manifesting and stuff, like when Sophie was a baby and she was going through such a tough time that we just didn't know what was going to happen with her. Like she was in and out of hospital. She was, what's the medical term? Failing to thrive.
Yeah, failing to thrive.
She was on a feeding tube. She was losing weight. The doctors didn't know what was wrong with her. And there was, it was touch and go with her, wasn't it? Like we really did think we were going to lose her at times. And I just like flipped this switch in my head because the doctors gave us like a diagnosis for her. And I just flipped this switch in my head and I was just like, I'm just not accepting it. And every single day, so I used to go to the gym like super early in the morning. On the way to and from the gym, like out loud in the car, if you pulled up next to me in the lights, you would think I'm an absolute nutter, right? I would, with passion, be speaking out things about her, saying things like, Sophie is well, she is healthy, she is living a long, strong, healthy life. Like I would literally just for like half an hour drive, like just be saying all these things, speaking out all these things, just being like, we're not accepting that because basically the doctor said like she more than likely wouldn't live to see her teens or whatever. I was just like, we don't accept that. Like she is living past her teens. She's living to an old age. Like she's doing this, she's doing that. Like literally, like it was just like I don't even know like where it all come from. But and I'm not saying that I'm responsible for her doing better, but I just feel like that's what we all as a family started to just be like, cool. This is how we're gonna be. We're gonna be like positive. We're gonna be like, we're only gonna speak positive things over her. And because when she first got a diagnosis, like there was all of a sudden like just this like real
doom and gloom.
Like I saw people in the family looking at her with sad eyes, and it was like, I'm gonna cry. Didn't think it was going down. Wait 1 sec. Didn't think this was gonna take this turn. It was like people stopped seeing a future for her and started to,
me included. I used to go to
look at her and just think,
I'm thinking that was it. Like
almost like they'd given up on her.
Bearing in mind, like I think we'd not long lost Mickey, so I think for us in our family, like we had experienced loss. Like loss was real. It wasn't something that like some people, because if they're lucky enough to not experience it, they don't know that deep hurt or that. I'm not saying everyone will feel this way because I don't know, but I feel like you could easily not think it could happen to you. So then when Sophie got this diagnosis and of how ill she was, like we felt like there was days touch and go. We would be scared to go into her room in the morning because we didn't think that she would be there sometimes. Like it was like that. So then to be told that by a doctor, like I think we have spoken about it before, but that's where you and me were so different. I was depressed. I was crying. I looked at her with sad eyes. I then couldn't envision her future. I felt that was it. Like, and you and me, like you, rightly so, and I'm glad you did, but you was quite harsh with me. You refused to let me talk about my worries because you're like, I'm not accepting them. Unless you talk to me positively, I'm not accepting that. And I'd be like, I just want to talk what the doctor said. And you were like, no, because that's not, he's a doctor, but I don't need to take what he said. And you doing that then changed my mindset. And I remember one thing you said to me was like, whatever you put out into the universe could come true. And I thought, well, if it could come true, what is the harm in just being positive and just saying these things? Because if it can work, like, why would I put negativity into there? And I genuinely now, even when my mom or my dad or just negatively might talk about themselves, I say, don't say that. You don't know what you're putting out in the universe. Just be positive, or whoever. Like, I don't like people talking negatively now into the universe. But you taught me that. And then I did change my mindset. And whether or not it's coincidence or she was always going to be like this, like, together we became a team of talking positively into the universe about Sophie. And my manifesting, my wish for the kids now, after losing Mickey and going through that with Sophie, and I genuinely just wish that they have a happy and healthy life, whatever their choices may be, whether they want to, like, whoever they choose to be in love with, whatever they go on to do for a job, whether they're like Casey wants to follow in the limelight, Grace might want to do fashion, or Chloe,
whatever you do, you like just
as long as they are happy and they are in a
yeah.
loving, healthy relationship, then
my thing has always just been and the thing is, what I don't want to do is I don't want to push onto my kids my way of life. You know, like, as in, I think that's what a lot of parents can end up doing. So it's like, if you are well educated, it's like you'll push on education. If you're entrepreneur, you'll push entrepreneurship onto your kids. If you're whatever it is, like you're a doctor, like, I recognize that, like, my path has been being an entrepreneur. Like, it's not been a 9 to 5. It's not been a quote unquote like normal way of doing things. But ever since a kid, it's like I would always question things, and I think that could come across as if like he's just like a rebellious kid. But it's like I would question things like, why is it so? Why do we do this? Why is it this way?
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, but what about if it didn't have to be this way? What about we don't do it like that? What about we don't have like the life that they kind of set out for you at school? Like, you know, sort of like a bit of a cookie cutter approach to life. So for me, all that I really want for the kids is them to question life and not accept things as they are, but go after what it is they want. That's basically my motto really for life. So yeah,
because with school, like, we're both very on the same level of, like, we've never pushed the girls. We both agree that we want them to work hard and get their GCSEs, you know, like English, maths, science, get them so you don't have to resit them.
Yeah, my main motivation for them to pass their GCSEs is that they don't go back and do the same thing, because I'm like,
we're just not pushy parents. I know it sounds really like cliche and everyone wants it, but I genuinely just want them to be happy, because I'm happy.
I want to be
I'm
fulfilled
content,
in life.
I'm happy and I'm content, and I think that's
the thing. It's like, if being fulfilled in life is working a 9 to 5 job that is nothing that like wouldn't be for me, but if that's what makes you happy, then cool. If whatever it is, do you know what I mean?
So sometimes I can see that though, being so like the 9 to 5 of being able to actually like, switch off and come home and be able to leave your work at home.
I remember having this feeling before, because like your dad's typically always had like a, you know, I say 9 to 5, like I call it, you know, traditional kind of like employed or whatever. And it's like, I remember at one point I was like, I'm kind of envious of like that. I can't be content with that. And I can't, because you can somewhat switch off from work when you get home, and you kind of know what your hours are, and it doesn't interrupt as much in like your family life and stuff. But it's like, whatever way you're wired is the way you're wired.
My dad doesn't.
I would never be content with that, and your dad wouldn't be content with what I do.
My dad isn't content in that, like, as in, he is content in life, but what I mean is he does that, but he has so many extra hobbies. He goes and does like football, walking football. He does snooker. He then was like,
he volunteers as a on the ambulances.
Well, first of all, the snooker, he was then he would be like the judge, like referee person of the matches.
Oh, and he reffed football.
Then he reffed football. He volunteered as a policeman. He used to. He then volunteered as an ambulance, first response, and now he's going back to that. He's like constantly.
Your dad's always looking for something to keep him.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Active and busy and stuff.
He doesn't seem to like to. Well, he does like to sit still, but he doesn't.
He doesn't though.
But
I feel like even when we're on holiday, he's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
yeah.
So like,
He likes to
Yeah.
like leave and be able to go home and watch his, he loves the old fashioned kind of
loves all the
TV,
old-fashioned
like
TV,
Columbo
yeah.
and stuff. Like he'll go back, watch that and chill out. But he's actually quite a person, like he gets up early. He'd be like, the amount of driving lessons taken to Grace, like 7 o'clock in the morning, he's knocking at the door and he's taking
He's
her
been
out.
so good. Like, honestly, the amount of driving lessons he's given for Grace and for Casey, and he also taught Ava and Ava's sister to drive.
Yeah.
I'm like, the guy deserves a medal just for being able to teach all them to
Yeah.
drive. Like, that's some dedication. That
He
is.
is
That's
good.
like,
He
that's
is
a
good.
lot of his time. Talking of Grace, driving lessons, driving test. Oh, honestly, I was so fuming. Grace had her driving test. Right, it was Sunday morning. I think the time was 7:05 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Yeah. Now, obviously, it takes so much. Like the build up to your driving test is filled with excitement, anxiety, just nerves, everything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so we're driving there. We had to, because of the way that the tests are in this country. Like, it's mad.
Oh, the backlog has been crazy.
It's
So
just you're waiting months, right? So you got to go with whatever test center you think you're going to get a test. So it was Mitcham. Right, Mitcham Test Centre. We don't live in Mitcham, so she was.
Dad had to give her a couple of lessons around there to get to know the area because obviously it's not an area she's drove before. So he drove to the test centre, showed her where the test centre was, took her all around the area, around the roundabouts. This is where you might have to do this and that.
So Sunday morning, crack of dawn, we get up, we go to the test centre. I'm giving Grace obviously the dad pep talk. Don't let nerves, like, don't worry, the grand scheme of life, just whatever happens. You got this, blah, blah, blah. We do a bit of practicing on the way because we're so early. We get to the test centre. She's obviously like so nervous, right? We get to the test centre and it's shut. But I'm like, okay, cool. Our test is at 7:05. We must be the first test of the day. Therefore, they're going to open the gates. We'll be the first people in. So we're sitting outside, nothing. Waiting. And it's getting to 10 to 7, 5 to 7. I'm like thinking, well, maybe they literally rock up and literally open the gates and go, let's go. 7:01, 7:02, 7:03. Like, tried ringing the test centre, just going to like voicemail. So then I was just like, there's no one around. So all of a sudden we're just like, what is going on? Like, have we got the day wrong? What's going on? So eventually it gets to like 7:30, 20 past 7. It's like, okay, well, clearly no one's coming. Like, something's gone wrong here, but I don't know what. So I ring the test centre again and it goes to voicemail. Now, I wish I had waited to hear the voicemail, but obviously when you hear a voicemail, you think, oh, no one's there, whatever. But the voicemail goes on to explain, like, if you're here for a roads test, by the way, we're now located at the Hilton.
Yeah.
Right? Wait, what? I'm sorry, what?
Like 10 minutes down the road.
At the Hilton. Wait, but this is more than Mitcham. This
Test
is
centre.
Mitcham Test Centre. If you put in maps, Mitcham Test Centre, it brings you here.
That's where my dad had took her.
It says Mitcham Test Centre on the gates, right? Oh my God, I was so annoyed. We went to the Hilton. We were too late. They don't even come out and talk to you. Like, literally nothing. It's so just like cold-hearted, like nothing. Can't even explain. Like, put a freaking sign on that gate, because how many people are turning up there not knowing? Just put one sign on the gate that says, we have now moved. You still have a gate that says Mitcham Test Centre.
Well, annoyingly, they still have tests for other things there, because basically I did the email, but because it had been in the diary for months, it was Mitcham Test Centre, and Dad, it's just like, that's what it was. Of course, why would any car test be anywhere else but a car, like a test centre? It just didn't make sense. But basically the email was like Mitcham Car Centre, Mitcham Car Test, whatever it was. And then it gave the whole address of like the Mitcham Test Centre in bold, big. Then underneath it's like important information that's then smaller. If it's an auto test, it's now at the Hilton, But like, when you're going through the email and that bit's bold, big, black.
You think the information that you need right up front is, by the way, if you have a driving test in a car, it's not actually at Mitcham Test Centre. It's actually at the freaking Hilton.
Oh.
You think that information would be coming up front.
Grace was so upset.
She was really, like, it takes so much out of you. Like, but also the excitement of thinking today could be the day I'm driving. So yeah, we're back now. We've booked her another test, but obviously, you know, these things take time.
In a new, completely different area. So my dad's taking her to a completely different area to learn.
Yeah, I felt so gutted for her. I remember the day that I took my test and passed. It was like the feeling of is like none other. Just freedom, pure, absolute
Your mum
freedom.
said to me the other day, I was talking about driving tests, and she said she remembers you going on yours. This sums you up. You went on your test, and she was waiting at home, and she looked out the window. It started raining. She said, I burst into tears. I thought Joel won't remember to put his windscreen wipers on, so he's going to fail.
That's so ridiculous. I never knew this. I mean, it's not a thing you have to remember. If you can't see out the window because there's rain, obviously I'm going to put the windscreen wipers on.
You probably forgot how to do it.
That's so funny. I never even knew that.
I do remember the first time.
I don't remember.
Because your auntie, we were at your house and your auntie was like, come on, I'll take you out in your car before you'd passed.
No, this is the first time I ever drove.
And you went on the wrong side of the road.
She says that. I don't know. She was being traumatic. I went on the other side of the road probably just to get around some parked cars, but I think I didn't come back, back soon enough. And she was like, oh, she's making out like I'm just driving on the wrong side of the road.
You could have done.
No, that's very silly. And I don't ever forgive her for saying that about me. But yeah. Yeah, your dad, I did a driving lesson with your dad. I think on the day, this is how eager I was. On the day that I turned 17, I had my first driving lesson. Literally that day. I'm pretty sure. Is that right?
I can't remember.
I'm sure it was. Your dad took me.
All I can remember is that I hung around while you waited to learn your driving test. And then you passed, you broke up with me, and you took another go out in your car before me.
Whoa. Oh my God. We are really going there. Yeah. That is just mad.
Broke my heart.
That I'm very sorry.
You broke my heart over and over again. There was the flat, and then there was this.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
I was like, are you kidding me? I've been around since I was 15, waited, got his car.
It was, you made out like I passed, and then I just thought, oh, I broke up with you, and then I was straight like.
Well, that's how girls take it in their head, okay?
It's not quite like that. But there was a group of us. It wasn't just like there was one girl. Right?
Well, one girl in particular.
Okay, moving on. Yeah. Let's change the subject. Did you get any minors on your test?
No, I actually think I don't know exactly, but I did pass with like flying colours.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I got quite a few minors, but not like close to failing, but not like I wasn't like flying colours exactly. Let's get into the council couch today. Settle down, guys.
I think we should change this bit to like therapy voices, like council couch.
I like to be
Today's council couch.
I don't like to be like, oh, listen, let me listen to your life. I'm more like, get your act together. I'm gonna give you a motivational speech.
Yeah, okay.
Right? I can't do the whole therapy council thing. Okay.
And how does that make you feel?
You can do that, and I'm gonna be the no nonsense, straight talking advice person. Okay.
Bad cop, bad cop.
Yeah. Right. This is from Emily. I'm going on a family holiday with my parents, siblings, and their families. Aren't your parents and your siblings? How is it their families?
As in their siblings' families. As in if you went with Emma, like Ryan, the kids.
Oh, because, right, yeah, okay,
families,
yeah.
They might have their
I was very confused. So I'm like, they are your families.
Joe is so black and white. It's like...
I'm like, yeah. My sibling and their family.
Okay.
I'm like, it's your family.
Break it down for you.
It's your family as well.
Keep going.
Okay, my parents are generously covering flights and housing, and the rest of us will be splitting the cost of food. I'm happy to contribute for the kids and our parents, but I'm concerned that if we split the food bill just between the 4 siblings, my single brother and I will end up paying more than our fair share, especially since our siblings' partners, who also have incomes, will be on the trip too. I don't mind paying a bit extra occasionally, but this trip would be more expensive and it feels unfair. I'm nervous to bring it up because it's uncomfortable and worth noting. One of my siblings were having some finance issues previously, but I don't think I should be paying more just because I'm single. I'm wondering if it's unreasonable to expect the partners to cover their own share. We've gone on many vacations together and no one has said anything. How do I have this conversation or suffer financially in future holidays we go on?
They're going on holiday with their families, their partners. Some of the partners are going too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you got that, but Joe asked me to break it down.
We can keep that in, but sometimes when I read the council catch and it's very confusing for me.
So basically they're going on holiday. The parents have kindly said that they're going to
Yes,
pay
I
for
get
the
that.
flights and the accommodation. They've just got to pay for the food. The brother and the sister are single. They haven't got partners going. So they're like, they don't feel it's fair that they split all the food. They're thinking, will the partners of their siblings also contribute?
Right.
They want to know whether should they bring it up and ask before they go, are they going to be contributing or not, or splitting it, and that's between them. But of course, like,
why wouldn't they?
Yeah, of course.
They're not gonna, why would their partners not pay for their own food?
Yeah, this is definitely a conversation to be had.
Awkward one.
Awkward, but once you've said it, it's over and done with. I think in the way we would split it between the adults, the amount of adults there are, and split it that way. So when the bill comes, you're not counting your mum and your dad, any of the kids. But then the adults, so say there's 6 adults, you split it between
because you're already at that point paying a bit more than you should, because you're paying for like your
and then let's say it's
but
us,
you're saying you don't mind, which is fine.
We split it between 6. Well, it's whatever. Obviously, we're married, so it would come out of one joint account. We add the 2 together anyway. But if you're not and your partners, then it's then down to them whether they split it, whether one pays that one. That's down to them. That's their business. But 100%.
It blows my mind that you could be sat there with, say, for example, after a meal or whatever, and the bill comes, and that your siblings or their partners wouldn't go, hold on a second, this doesn't feel fair, because you're splitting it 4 ways when there's 6 adults and we've got kids. Like, we're always like so conscious. We will always make a point of like, okay, we've got more kids.
Well, you're so awkward. You're the opposite. You're so awkward. You worry about the bill coming before we've even eaten, and you've in your head thought, I'll just pay for this.
I just want out of that situation. So I'm like, if I just pay for the whole bill, then it's gone. Like, as much as sometimes it's a nice thing, I'm like, oh, I just want to treat everyone. Sometimes it's like, I'm trying to avoid it all. The
easiest thing is when we go out for dinner with my mum and dad, Emma, Ryan, the kids, we are half of that bill.
Yeah.
Because we're 7 and them together is 7.
Yeah.
So we're always like, we pay half because we've got 4 adults, you, me, Casey, Grace, and then the 3 kids.
Yeah.
4 adults. So then how they then deal with it is then up
to us.
We just pay.
This whole thing with like bill splitting and stuff, like, it's such a awkward. Why, as human beings, is it awkward for us? Right? Yeah. It shouldn't be awkward. It should be plain as day. But it's like, it is such an awkward thing. Like,
I don't feel that awkward. Weirdly,
I do. That's why sometimes I'm like,
I think because I'm so fair. Like, I wouldn't let somebody overpay for me or the kids or whatever. So I think, and I do. I would happily pay for the bill now and again, whether it's my friends, family. Like, so I think when it comes to just being like, okay, should we split this? Should we split it 3 ways? Or I'm like, oh, I've got my kids, so I'll pay.
I always feel so guilty if any part of me feels like someone is paying more than they should.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't do that.
I don't ever want to be that person that sits down and breaks down the bill. And if I did, it would only be to benefit the other people, not to benefit myself. But I do feel very guilty if it's like, because your mum and dad will say, oh, it's fine, like, just split it between the adults. Like, it doesn't matter about the kids. And I'm always like, no, like, we've got like 800 kids at this table.
Yeah.
We're feeding the 5,000 here. Like, we can't. So I'll always end up like trying to like.
Yeah, and Grace has ordered the lobster.
Yeah, my kids have got expensive taste as well. So yeah, like, yeah, Grace will be eating a lobster. Sophie's eating a steak.
The finest.
No. Yeah, so it's awkward. I think the thing is,
maybe talk to your siblings. Don't have to make it a big deal, but maybe just like call them up and just be like, hey, like, financially.
You've got 2 options. You either like it's premeditated, or you just do it in the moment, and it's gonna feel awkward, but you do it once, and it
and just like, let's split it between
forever.
6 adults or however many adults. Let's do that, and then I think that's fair. And then you two, because
do it less. I feel do it less premeditated, like, oh, ring them up to have a chat, and more like maybe not like as the bill comes, but maybe like when you get to the holiday or just before, like, okay, so I was thinking, obviously we're all going to cover mum and dad's food because they covered the holiday. So why don't we say, okay, cool. Look, and you can start by saying, look, do you know what? I don't mind splitting, like paying for the kids and stuff. That's absolutely fine. So why don't we just split it 6 ways if there is 6 of you with the other 2? It's almost like you're not even like asking. It's almost like you're just suggesting of like that's the obvious thing.
Yeah.
It's like you're
100%.
saying what's obvious.
Yeah.
So yeah, do that. Let us know how you get on. But yeah, I hate those situations. I would pay. I would be, if I was you, I'd be paying that bill till the day I die, even if I didn't want to, just because I'd hate awkwardness. So in a previous episode, we were talking about nicknames and stuff, and we asked everyone, drop in the comments below what your nicknames are, any kind of thing you've got around that. So
What's mine? Have you got nicknames for me? Well, I can't really think at the minute.
I've had a few over the times. What did I used to call you? Oh, what was the nickname I always had for you?
SJ.
No, not really. Like Sedge, something like that. Years ago. Sarah Jane Sedge. I can't remember. Sergi.
Oh.
That's a nickname you got. That's a nickname you got from my Instagram. Sergi.
Or just Jolie.
Yeah.
Don't really have any other nicknames.
The big JC. Right. So we're gonna actually try and guess where these nicknames have come from. Right. So we don't actually have the answer. So the first one sent in was from Maya, and her boyfriend's nickname is White Chalk or Chalk. I mean,
Well, surely it must be because...
Why? Why has he got this nickname? You got to guess.
Maybe he's the Milky Bar kid. Do you remember that advert back in the day?
I used to tell people I was that. I looked like that kid when I was younger. I used to tell people that was me.
He used
I'm
to
allergic.
hang out.
I'm allergic to horses.
The actual boy that was on that used to hang around at the park. We used to hang around. When we
Yeah,
were
me.
younger.
I started that rumor. I used to go to that park.
Oh,
Is it all connecting the dots
no,
now?
it wasn't you.
It was me.
I actually hung around with him with my friend.
Then that was me.
It wasn't. Anyway, I'm saying the Milky Bar kid. So we're guessing why his nickname is White Chalk or Chalk.
Because he looks like the Milky Bar kid.
Yeah.
That's what we're going with?
Yeah.
Okay. Because her boyfriend's name is Massimo. A friend accidentally called him Massy Moose, which was then extended to White Chocolate Mousse, and then shortened again to White Chalk. This is what I love about nicknames, the stories behind them, and the fact it just come from someone accidentally saying
if you think of our girls, so Casey is Bubbles. So we've got Casey Bubbles.
But these are just, we don't actually call her that. We never.
When she was younger, she
yes,
was.
we don't call her Casey Bubbles.
No, now.
Yeah.
But she used to be called Bubbles. Grace was Grace Wooloos. We still call her Wooloos.
We do.
Like, so you go at me.
Because I'm
just saying what the nicknames were for the kids.
I thought people would think we go around calling Casey Bubbles. That's
no.
Like, isn't Michael Jackson's chimpanzee was called Bubbles, wasn't it?
I don't know. But anyway, that was.
Sorry.
And then she turned into Loving Aero Bubbles. So maybe that's why. I don't even know why. But then Grace was Wooloos. And then Sophie in the beginning, I don't even remember, but we used
Mousy.
to call her Mousy.
She looked like a little mouse.
Sit with her little hands up. And then she was like Bubba. And then Chloe.
Coca Bear.
It's obviously, that's just what I call her name. I didn't even think.
That's a nickname.
We call her
And
Coco.
Maddie is Moo-Moos,
Moo-Moos.
which I love.
Which she is actually sometimes when you say, what's your name? She goes, Moo-Moos. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, go on then. Don't know why she.
Yeah, to be fair, and also like none of these nicknames actually really come from anywhere. That's the thing with our kids. Like they didn't actually come from a thing other than Mousy, because Sophie looked like a little mouse. Right, so the next one, Jaden, his nickname is Teabag. I don't want to know why. No, I do want to know why. Okay, so his name is Teabag.
Obviously, we're going to both think that he likes teabagging. Or is her name Teabag?
Is it Teabag.
Is Jaden a girl or boy? And is this about a boyfriend or girlfriend? Or
so Jaden is a female, and her nickname is Teabag. That's a very unfortunate
I'm going to say it's not as rude as what we think, and I'm going to say female strength here, like she's strong like a tea bag.
Oh my god, that's so rubbish. But yeah, we're gonna lock in that answer because it's definitely that. Okay, so you read it.
She was dressed up as a tea bag for Halloween when she was 5, and people never forgot it.
Oh my god, since 5 years old, one decision landed you with that nickname for the rest of your life. One outfit.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is Molly Jones, and her nickname is Muffins.
I mean, it's obvious.
Maybe she just loves it.
muffins.
You know those tiny little muffins in Costa Coffee when you get a pack
It's
of
not going
6?
to be that, is it?
It's delicious.
It's going to be something silly. Wait, muffins. Little Miss Muffet? No.
Molly Muffins.
I don't know. I can't. We've got no answers. She likes muffins. Let's find out the answer.
She ate 16 muffins as a child and threw them all up and has stuck for 15 years now.
16 muffins is wild. 16?
Yeah.
Even if they're
Whoa.
the small ones, that's crazy. Wow.
Wow.
You deserve,
They're the
you
small
earned that nickname. You earned it.
That's a cute nickname, to be fair.
Emily, nickname is Biggs. I mean, Biggs.
Do you think the BIGS stands for something, maybe?
Biggs. I don't know. I have got no guesses. I really want to know why, though. Let's find out why.
I was bigger than my twin sister when born. Oh!
Probably by a
Oh.
fraction as well. It's just like, oh, Biggs. We're going to call this one Biggs. But Isabel, her nickname is Smelly. I mean,
Or is it
Isabel,
gonna be
whatever
like,
you say, whatever the reason
Right,
you
so could
say
it be
it
like
is,
Isabel is a smell and then it's become smelly? Is the smell.
Isabel, whatever you think the nickname reason is, just think maybe it's clear as day and it's just very obvious why you have this nickname, okay?
I'm going to say,
Maybe let's not beat around the bush.
I'm going to say, is a smell smelly?
Yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah, there
What
we
is
go.
it?
Isabel, Bell, smell, smelly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you smell.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to this on audio, you can rate us 5 stars, I believe, and you can, review us. Like, it does help. It takes a few seconds of your time, and we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Oh, and by the way, get us to Vegas, guys. 200K. Woo! Vegas, baby.
Whoop-de-whoop.
Bye, guys.